Hi guys, welcome back to Creating with Ann. Listen, we're still working on the cow. And as you can see, I haven't even put any on this side yet. I didn't really get a chance in the last video to show you what we were doing with her. Like I said, this doesn't need to be spread out perfectly. We'll spread it when we wipe it back. So this is basically what my piece starts out looking like, and then I add to it as I go. So you can see the coverage isn't there real well, but it doesn't really matter. And then I will wipe her back and fill in where we need to fill in. So here you can see where we're wiping her back and she's beginning to take some contour shape. You can see her muscles filling in. You can see where she's got more wear maybe on her hide than on other places. Like I said, it's not real necessary that you just make her perfectly filled in, because you're going to do this several times. Unfortunately, that's just the nature of the beast, as it were, when you work with oils. Nothing ever goes, for me anyway, one coat and done. It always takes me several coats, but I work mine back a little more than some people do. Some people paint with oils and don't work them back at all. I prefer to work them back a little bit. Of course, also it depends on the piece I'm doing and what I want that piece to look like when I'm finished. This, I want a more realistic version of my cow, so this is what I'm doing. Now I'm going to make her hooves just a little darker, and I'm not really going to mess with them too much because we all know cow's hooves are a little darker than the rest of her body. It's okay if it got a little on the udder. We'll take that off when we do some of the cleanup to prep to paint the other colors. So I never get real concerned about that either. I used to when I started, but then I figured out I could just make myself insane worrying about these little mess ups. So for me, it's just easier to go back with some base coat, cover them up, and start again. It doesn't usually take that long. There are not that many of them or that big a deal. And it's just not worth making myself crazy. Okay. Now, as you can see, we've got this leg done. We've added in a little more here. And once again, you just start working it back. Now, you'll see how it's filled in the spots. That looks good. They're nice and filled in. Now, the paper towel is great, but it will leave some things I don't want left, some marks. So what I'm going to do is, when I get this wiped back with the paper towel about where I want it to be, about like that, I will then take a brush. Now I have certain brushes I use specifically for this. I love these little makeup brushes like this. They're wonderful. Some of them are a little hard, others are not. And I'll just work it with the makeup brush. This way I can kind of texture her out better and get a little more of the definition I want without smearing too much of the paint around. There's a little more definition to her. If I want to make it a more feathery look, I do have brushes for that too. And once again, they're little makeup brushes, but I use these little guys. And this is a slanted one. And you'll see that it'll just, let me go on this side, since I've already used that one on this side. Feather it out a little bit. And these I just use to go over the piece once I have the contouring where I want it. Now normally I wait until I get the whole piece done and then I go over it with the brush, but I wanted you to see how much of a difference the brush versus the paper towel makes. You'll see that the paper towel is great to start. And it takes a lot of the excess off that you don't want to get in your brush, because you do not want this in your brush if you're going to try to feather with it. But yeah, you can see the difference here. Longer tail. Let's feather that down a little bit. This brush will also spread the paint out a little. So if there's any spots you've missed, it'll kind of feather that out for you. Fill it in. Make it look a little less bare. So these are things I don't really concern myself with, I guess, because they'll eventually fill in, because you're not just going to do one brushing on this and go, oh, there it is. Well, I don't. Anyway, it takes 3 or 4 brushings for me to get my piece right where I go, oh yeah, that's it, right there. Don't touch it, it's fine. So anyway, this is what our cow, who was once purple, if you'll remember, and if you're just tuning in, well, she was purple, is now going to look like. She's more of a natural kind of cow. So that's where we're going today with this video. So stay creative, stay wonderful, stay yourself. I'll see you next time on Create with Ann.